you become more motivated? I hear from a lot of people who say, I really, I'm really into this and I want to get better, but it seems like I just can't, pull myself up by the bootstraps and really, go for it at the level I want to. But that's often because we totally misjudge what it takes to be motivated. We think this is something that happens to us, right? And then in the culture, we really like to be motivated by the good stuff, right? If I want something, I feel driven towards it. But what we don't see is that real energy, real raw power of the nature, it comes from plus and minus. Electricity, when you see a lightning bolt strike the earth, that's because the tension between plus and minus is so big that it just has to be released between the sky and the earth. And so it goes boom, right? And that's the boom we want inside. But we cannot get that boom if we only have plus. Hey, I really want to learn those amazing skills. Yeah, I'm all fired up and happy, right? I really like that. It doesn't become drive. It doesn't become that intense, striving and just that juicy game of just becoming better on your instrument. It doesn't become like that until you have the minus as well. And my guess is that you already have that, but you're kind of, pushing it away because it's uncomfortable. We don't like to look that way. But if you want to amp up that part of you, then just look at what it would mean to you if you never developed those skills. What would you not experience in your life? Go into the future and say, okay, I'm not going to get any of that. What does that do to your future? What jobs won't you do? What people won't you play with? At what level will you never reach? And how's that going to look when you get to the end of your life, looking back at your life, 80 years old, 85, whatever. You look back on your life and said, I could have done that. But I just didn't. I couldn't get in gear. So I don't have that. My life was never about mastery. It was never about really achieving the skills I wanted. It just became about, intermediateness. It became about the middle ground, right? So when you start really looking, and when people look at YouTube videos, sometimes people say, "Oh, I just saw one 17 years old, and he played like twice my skill level, and I just want to give up." Right? That's if you can use that as fuel, you can get intense. You can get like I'm gonna prove that. That's simply I won't take that, right? Because and that feeling. It's the minus, the power of, I really want that skill level. And suddenly the minus comes in, what we don't want to look at, right? We just want to be praised and just feel good, but that doesn't really bring us to what we want. Once you use that pain of somebody younger than you being better than you, and you just say, I'm gonna do this. I mean, in the next 2 years, I'm going to raise beyond his skill level, right? That's when you get driven suddenly because you really want that and you really do not want this, right? And that's because that's how we're built. Just think about it. In nature, for 200,000 years ago, you were in the same genetic material in a cave. You woke up. What did you want to do? I want to not die today. How about that? How about that for minus, right? And I want to have the pleasure of having hunted and killed an animal and eating by the campfire at night or, whenever. And just that pleasure of eating and being the victorious, returning home with the food. That's what I want, and I don't want to starve. That's plus and minus. And so you're driven from the time you get up. You don't get up like, I want my coffee. You get up like this. Let's survive today, right? And so, but we don't have that anymore. And yeah, I'm happy about that. Now we're in a different age, a different time, where we're comfortable all the time. So we forget about real drive, how it is to be really away from something and really towards something we really want. And you can create that for yourself by not shying away from what makes you feel uncomfortable. When you're sitting in the music store, playing guitar, and there's somebody next to you that just plays, use that as drive. Get determined. Right? Step into that zone of the lightning bolt, right? And use that to your advantage, and you'll be driven like never before.